Welcome to V8 Nation, talking all things motorsport with Rick Kelly and Paul Dumbrell.
Hello everybody and welcome to V8 Nation. For the next hour we're going to be hearing from two gentlemen that, got fairly close last week in Winton, and Rick Kelly and Paul Dumbrell. Before we get stuck into all the big Winton news, and fair to say it's big, just want to bring something up because Rico and PD, you guys are taking it to a new level because we have our own film crew in here, and you can check out Twitter and YouTube and everything that's going on with the V8 Nation boys in the studio.
At V8 Nation,
yeah,
just to put that out there. I'm learning.
Very good.
Very good. I'm very proud of you, PD. You've obviously had a bit of sense knocked into you last week, and we'll get to that in a minute. But so for some reason today, Rico rocks up with another film crew. So he's got a film crew to film a film crew that's filming us. So you've taken it to a new level, Rico. Is there something we should know?
I just like to document everything. Obviously, from the incident on the weekend involving PD and myself, I thought, for hearings and things moving forward, I may need to document our first contact since the weekend. But obviously, nothing happened. A little bit awkward here in the studio after the incident between us on the weekend. We're having to sit a little bit further apart than normal, so it was a bit different for us.
Now, before you get too far into it, I'm just going to try and make it a little bit more awkward.
That's good.
Can we paint the picture? Can we just paint the picture of how the weekend went?
That's the first time we've had sound effects in here. I'm really excited. I have to do this more often.
Well, Peter emailed me and he said, mate, I was going to win Winston, and then Rico turned me around. I think it's time for a little bit of sound effect. And boys, and for anyone out there who might have missed what happened last week, there was an incident between our two V8 Nation hosts. And boys, take it away and tell us exactly. Actually, PD, take it away. Tell us exactly what happened.
Can you mute Rico's mic there? So we're battling along. The soft tyre is such a unique tyre. So different parts of the race, you're at different speeds to other drivers. So at this stage, I was behind Rico and I was charging through the field after pretty poor qualifying. And, I'd passed, probably 8 or 10 cars at this stage. So, we were probably the quickest car on the track, probably no doubt. But, and we're coming up to this Black Jack Daniels Commodore, which usually is going pretty well. And we're probably sitting around the 10th or 11th position at this stage, Rico. That'd be right? Sorry, you're muting. Yes,
I don't recall anything.
And so I get up to him. I catch him pretty much the whole length of one straight in about 3 laps. Get up behind him. And I thought it was coming out of turn 10, a nice left-hander. He actually sort of got out of my way on the left-hand side. I'm like, that's, good bit of respect there. Obviously my car's a little bit quicker than him. I went down the inside of him, down the straight. Now, the first issue I had was that he then moved over on me and nearly hit me down the straight. Like, okay, I'll remember that. I broke into the second last corner and I turned it into the double right-hander and pit lane splices off. So, it's a little bit dicey there. And I've just come through there, got to go back on the throttle, and I feel this big thud in the back. And whoosh, spun round and smoke everywhere. And it was not good. I was pretty disappointed, but no, a little bit of an exaggeration. It's not exactly
a little bit of an exaggeration. You've come in Christopher Skase style. You're in a wheelchair with a neck brace, which I thought was taking a bit too far.
So Rico, how did you see it?
To be honest, it's fun to laugh now. I'm a little bit. It's tough when you're out there racing and the last person you want to come in contact with is your mate, and I've about to go in the pit lane and PD sort of up the inside, and as he's come out of the exit, I've just brushed against the back of his car, and he's gone around. I've seen out of the corner of my eye him spinning, and I'm like, oh no, So it's a tough thing. I mean, we've been laughing and joking about it since then. Myself and PD have come in contact with each other on the circuit a few times out there, but it's not a good feeling. You don't want that sort of thing to happen. So I think I'll be around the front of his joint mowing his lawns and washing his car to make it up to him for a few weeks to come. But still, at this point, I'd like to claim that it was his fault.
Yeah, and you have, and look, in fairness to Rick, you have kept that line since it happened last week. You continue to blame PD, which is honourable. Just in serious question though, because there is a stewards thing going on, so we can't go too deep into it, I guess. But
why not?
Well, I want to know, is this legal that you two are so close and, I don't know, talking about it so much? Is that going to be frowned upon at all by stewards?
Oh, look, if you said anything that was not in line with your argument in there, for sure they'll grab it. I mean, they're very onto the media side of things, and it's been done in the past, I think, PD, where things have come out in the media. Certainly for myself as well, with a battle with Russell Ingall many years ago, I got fined for bringing the sport into disrepute. a couple of times, I think, or maybe more.
10 or 12. I was really hoping.
But
and,
it can be.
Once PD was okay and he got out of the car, I was hoping he stormed down pit lane. And you know those fights that we see so much where you got the helmets on and you're yelling, which no one could understand what you're saying at each other, and then you're slapping each other at the helmets. I was praying that would happen and you two guys would go at it.
Do you know, we could have got Play of the Day. You know, on Channel 10 Sports.
Tackling each other.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been funny. So, once again, sort of joking, take the mickey out of each other. It's one of those things on the track. You battle so hard on the track, and it's quite unique, the circumstance of at the track, or the sort of the certain point in the track it happened. And, there wasn't much in it. That happens day in, day out in the racing, a bit of biff and barge, and it's a good laugh. And, hey, it's not how you want to end the race, but that's just how life goes.
But, PD, we have spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. We touched on when at Indy last year, I was going to pass you and you turned in and busted my front wheel and ended the day for me, which I mean, not holding a grudge about that. However, the thing I am holding a grudge with, after that race, I come down with a nice new watch as a gift for you after you took me out. So, tables are turned now, mate, no watch. There's no watch. I haven't seen any watch.
Well, the truth be known, one, you didn't bring the watch down. Two,
did he send someone else down?
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Two, I just sent it to the bomb squad to make sure. I heard it ticking. I wasn't quite sure if it was ticking because it was a real watch, or ticking because in 3 seconds it was going to explode in my face.
So you sent down a watch as a peace offering to PD, but you sent it down with someone else. You didn't want it down yourself.
Well, peace offering, he took me out of the race and I gave him a gift.
Why did you give him a gift?
I had it before that race.
And how much did it cost you?
It was a very, very expensive watch.
It was a sponsor.
How much did it cost you?
Oh, no.
In my time and effort to gain that watch, endless hours and days of work to get that watch. And he was grateful. It was fine.
Now, just on the email that we send around before we get into V8 Nation, I do like what PD said. He goes, we must talk about tonight Rick spinning PD around when he was going to win the race. So do you still contend the way you were going, PD?
Yeah, PD was doing a good job. I love speaking about myself in the third person, which pretty much that email, I just realised I wrote it in the third person.
Actually, on that though, he's a bit of a third person, isn't he? He does that a fair bit, doesn't he?
He does. On the radio, I'm sure he would have said, PD's okay, PD's okay, after he was spinning. But
he said to me last week, have you heard Rick Kelly and PD's show? And I said, mate, it's your show. It's really, and he goes, oh, okay, yeah. And just moved on. But he does slip it in there nicely. But firstly, good to see that you are okay, PD, because the shunt from behind from Rick was huge. It was intense.
Yes.
Let's talk about who actually did win the race and how it all went down at Winston, because there were some pretty good results.
Very mixed results on the weekend, again with a soft compound tyre. Saturday, there was Jamie Whincup up the front, Stephen Johnson up the front, and then in Sunday's race, the guy that won, obviously Jason Bright. Now, he wasn't at the front until quite near the end of the race, so he was dicing in the pack. Always had fantastic speed, but certainly in the last 20 laps, PD, he come from nowhere, I think, and surprised a lot of those front runners, drove past them all and just took off into the distance. So pretty impressive speed by that car. The
team BJR, Brad Jones Racing with BOC, also Jason Barguana and Carl Reindler, they've actually bought, and they're running the Walkinshaw Racing actual cars and uprights and their technical side of things. Now, they've sort of broken away from HRT and Walkinshaw's over the last couple of years and employed Phil Keed, which was one of the key engineers from my team prior to, or FPR prior to me getting there. And they've really sort of just had a different thought pattern and gone down a different direction with setup and a few bits and pieces elsewhere. But the last two races, or even towards the end of last year and this year, they've been one of the form teams in the category. They won a race over in Perth, and they did it very, very convincingly. They're under a lot of pressure from Jamie, Brodie was, for the whole race. He comes to Winton as well, and he wins. Yes, he had a good tyre strategy, but he won by 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, very strong.
And he did a great job.
It's an interesting thing. Exactly like you say, BJR is a customer of Walkinshaw. They just bought another chassis off those guys. They're using all of the Walkinshaw technology. So it's fantastic for those guys, an Albury-based team, to do such a fantastic job over the last couple of rounds. Very good handle on that soft compound tyre from those guys. But from the HRT point of view, it's always been an argument, particularly from the drivers down there, that they shouldn't be selling the technology because someone else has just gone out there with their own gear and smashed them. And that's not a very good feeling.
Yeah, you were pretty vocal about that when we were teammates down there. About selling stuff to the outside team. I don't want to bring anything up, but whilst we're talking about it, I just thought about that then. Do you remember that?
No recollection of that either.
If you'd like to get some emails in, V8nation@crocmedia.com, or you can, of course, follow us and get some questions in on Twitter @V8nation.
Rico, you're saying you can't memorise, a few things. I reckon we might have to get a medical done on you, just to make sure you're fit to race. You know, there's a bit of a precedence about that,
Yes.
happened in motorsport. I think we might have touched on that a while ago. So I might arrange, I might speak to Damien White and I might email a few other teams just to make sure you're okay.
All I remember is you getting a watch and me not getting a watch.
He was filthy too about that whole situation, Rico.
This is V8 Nation with Rick Kelly and Paul Dumbrell.